I was about the age of 14 when I first realized that I had same-sex attractions. It was during the time when I was living in China with my family, and well, I guess that's when I started to acknowledge it, and I saw myself first of all as a bisexual, and I didn't really think much about it, but I knew about it, and yeah, so about the age of 14.
I didn't even know what it was, so I didn't mind it until I was about 14, 15. It was when a friend started talking about it on MSN, and I thought, is she trying to make me come out? Am I? So it just started this just a ball in rolling, and I started to think that, yeah, I am.
I've always had a lot of guy friends, and I was getting quite involved with sports at the time, so of course, just from being around guys a lot, I realized I didn't really understand it that much, but I sort of noticed that when I left, this bonding that I was forced to seize sort of when moving back to Sweden, I sort of knew that, wow, I was actually, it wasn't just friendship, because I wasn't feeling this way about the girls really in the class that I also had a very close relationship to. Yeah, I guess it was just a combination of things.
Until then, I don't think I had ever had a girl crush, which is why many people I've come out to ask, how do you then know? But I just had it in my gut that I knew that I was attracted to both. And when I got my first female crush, I definitely knew. My first was probably my Lithuanian friend.
I think it was one of my close friends.
It wasn't this sit down, we're gonna have a talk. It was just, I mentioned it.
It was over a Skype call actually that I was in a conversation with multiple friends, guy friends then, and we were bringing up the topic for, I don't really remember what the occasion actually was that brought up, but I basically expressed my views, and then they asked, like, are you bi or something, and I said yeah, and they were like, okay. And
the next person was a friend of mine that was a teacher at the school,
and it wasn't actually a big deal at all, and I'm very happy that these guys that I came out to were and still are my closest friends.
The first family member I told was my mother, that I got a great response from.
When it comes to perhaps family, the first one that I came out to was my brother, and that was very early. I suppose actually he was the first one that I came out to, but thing with my brother is that we always fight and stuff, and no matter what happens, we always fight and mock each other regardless of whatever's happened. So he didn't actually act or perhaps even listen or care too much about it. I told him that I was bisexual when I was 15 or 16 or so. And yeah, I suppose you could say that that was the first person in my family that I came out to, and then of course my first friends were the ones in the Skype call.
It is kind of nice to be able to be myself.
Being out at KG is quite interesting because first of all, I haven't been receiving any negative remarks or anything really, other than perhaps the occasional locker talk amongst some of the perhaps more ignorant boys. But as a person as well, I've never ever let negative remarks ever get to me, and I've never tolerated people calling me names and stuff. And I'm a very confident person, so perhaps people have also noticed that and refrained from making those kind of remarks. But I was in the closet during first year, and I would say that by coming out, if anything, I've gained more respect and more close friends that that I can share more of my life with than what I perhaps could while I was in the closet. So I've sort of, I don't know, it's a part of my personal development. And I think also one important thing is that I'm also a third grader now. I am part of the oldest group here at KG right now. And I mean, it was basically during this year that I really started to openly come out and to become active when it came to important LGBT questions and issues, etc. So I think that also has some merit to the respect and the positive, I suppose, criticism and feedback and whatever I've received. So that's definitely.
I remember in first year I tried to sneak it into every other speech, and I started finally, not finally, but I started accepting that part, and I wanted others to know, but I wanted to sneak in that it was who I was. But at KG I must say that I've gotten the best of responses. I thought it would be worse, but it's been really great. Everyone's been so accepting. In everyday life, it has been a bit difficult. At the same time, my friends and family, they've all been so nice, the ones who know of it.
Well, I mean, first of all, I don't come out to people the first thing I do when I meet them, you know, for the first time, because I think it's unnecessary to and irrelevant just in general to tell them about your sexuality when you're small talking and, you know, exchanging just your name and your basic identity, I suppose. It would be very weird to do so, you know, to greet someone and say like, "Hi, my name is Toby and I'm gay." It's like, it doesn't really, I mean, there's no point to it, and there's nothing, you know, wrong with being gay or straight, and therefore it shouldn't be an issue when it comes up, you know, eventually, in my opinion.
It's both good and bad, easy and difficult. Most of my friends, or all of my friends really, they're all accepting of it. The ones of my family that know, they're really good with it. But then you have those everyday things when it's not that easy. But in general, I like being able to be me in everyday life. It is who I am. It's a part of me, rather. And I'm happy with it.
When it comes to living as a homosexual person, I suppose I don't really, my life isn't affected really at all, because I pass very well, or at least that's the term. I mean, I don't make myself look, you know, relatable to the stereotype too much, perhaps not more than any other guy who, you know, would perhaps be straight or whatever. So it's just normal life. But for those who do know, for those who are around me when I perhaps openly talk about it or have talked about it, etc., you know, that see me and so on, and so far I haven't received any kind of negative remarks or anything like that. And even if I would, I mean, I'm very cunning when it comes to pretty much every single argument in the book to defend my sexual identity, so I don't think anyone really dares. And of course, it's also Sweden. I mean, it's a very tolerant society. It's being openly gay here is absolutely no problem, really. Couldn't be any better.